Welcome to the Corner of Film podcast. I'm Niall from Corner of Film, which is a film website where I write about film. With me today is my co-host, the lovely Jack. Hello, Jack.
All right, mate.
Hello. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too bad. You've been away taking pictures and stuff.
Yeah, I've been taking some pics,
Yeah. That's.
but I've missed you dearly.
I've missed you too, but it's
We're back.
very. I don't know where I was going with that. I miss you too, but could take or leave it. Yeah. Okay, so Jack, to start us off this week, please tell me, what have you been watching lately?
I'm really not sounding like a great film fan, considering we're doing a film podcast, but I actually haven't watched any films since we last spoke.
Not a single one.
Not a single one. However, where I went, the Airbnb I stayed at, there was plenty of films to choose from, but I just didn't get the time. I mean, National Treasure 2 was there.
Oh, I like National Treasure 2.
We had Over the Hedge, another classic.
Yeah.
And lots of weird. There was like a Daily Mail. You know, they used to give out.
Oh yes.
Yeah, there was one of those. And unsurprisingly, from the Daily Mail, it was a collection of Jeremy Clarkson's like top cars and stuff.
Oh,
so
just Jeremy Clarkson being awful.
Just Jeremy Clarkson being a massive person.
Yeah, a big old boy.
A big old what's his name? I promise. Actually, I will watch more films.
No, that's fine. So inversely, I've watched an awful lot.
Nice.
I have watched in preparation for today's episode. Actually, I tried to catch a few. I tried to catch a few Sandman comedies. Do you know what? I could not find the ones I wanted to watch. So I don't have the few that I've not seen like multiple times are ones I don't have.
Yeah.
So I struggled to get hold of Punch Drunk Love or Reign Over Me, the two that I really wanted to rewatch.
Yeah.
So I settled for Bedtime Stories.
Oh, what a great film.
I did really enjoy it. I also for the first time, Uncut Gems, which was just incredible.
It is phenomenal.
It is absolutely amazing. I have watched a few other things that I do intend to write about. So there'll be reviews going up. Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance, which was quite an experience.
Nick Cage again.
Yeah. Nick Cage sequel as well. What else did I watch? I watched The Quick and the Dead. Have you seen that?
The Quick and the Dead. No. Oh, is that the new Netflix Zack Snyder one?
No, that's Army of the Dead. The Quick and the Dead is, I'm going to do it for, so anyone who's been following the website will know I've just started a new series of reviews, which I wasn't really sure about the name, but it was catchy enough, and I went with it.
Ran with it, yeah.
Films that time forgot.
Oh, no, I like that.
Yeah, so with the general idea is there are films that either you just have never heard of and just no one has ever heard of or watched. Yeah. Like I watched the very, very poorly named Roadkill starring Paul Walker.
Oh, God.
Yeah, which I just didn't know. It's him and Steve Zahn and Ted Levine's in it, and just I didn't know it existed.
I've never even heard of that.
And that's kind of what started it. But I don't know if you saw, I did Buried, which is a Ryan Reynolds Buried Alive film, like so stuff like that. And The Quick and the Dead kind of fit into that, which is, it's a Western. It was directed by Sam Raimi.
No way.
And honestly, you would not believe the cast. It was 1995, and it's got a young Leonardo DiCaprio.
What?
It's got Sharon Stone. It's got Gene Hackman. It's got Russell Crowe.
What?
It's got Keith David. It's got Mark Boone Jr. What's his name? Who was Pat something? The original Commissioner Gordon in 1989 Batman.
Oh,
is it Pat Hingle?
Something like that.
Something like that. He's in it. Just like,
how have I never heard of that?
That's exactly my point. And I watched it, and I was really enjoyed it. It's on Netflix now, actually.
Is it that?
So the basic premise is it's like the Old West, and there's a big competition for all the best like gun slangers. I'm pretty sure I said that right.
Yeah,
slangers. And yeah, they basically, it's like a quick draw competition of like, they'll have these like duels all the way through. It's kind of campy, a lot of fun.
Well, it's Sam Raimi. It's
Yeah.
going to be.
Well, yeah, there's like really like weird, cheesy moments, but I think that's sort of part of it. Like I couldn't work out if it was satire or if it was just
When was it?
like
95.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not satire.
But honestly, it was great soundtrack, just amazing cast.
Awesome.
Well worth watching. Leonardo DiCaprio is like a child in it, and he's super adorable.
He's just good,
He's just consistently great. Yeah,
isn't he?
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so I've been quite busy, but I've also, just to really lengthen that list out, I've been on a bit of a documentary kick. So
What kind of documentaries do you like? I feel like I know you very well, but I have no idea what you
I
would go for.
I do enjoy some true crime.
Yeah,
I like a bit of like a mystery, kind of murdery stuff.
gritty.
Yeah, I quite like that from a documentary. But I also, like that said, I did love. Did you ever catch the Jim and Andy?
Oh,
The
yes, I
making of the
did.
Man in the Moon, because Andy Kaufman he's like my hero,
Yeah,
and I love Man in the Moon, and so like that documentary was really fascinating for me. But also, I love Jim Carrey. I think he's brilliant in
he
that.
is a little bit unhinged, but
Well, yeah, but that's all right. We'll
I
forgive
mean,
him
an
that.
absolute nightmare to work with on that film, apparently. But
Oh, you can see that,
you
like
can.
in the documentary, you can see it. But no, that was great. But no, I've been watching a lot of like true crime murder stuff. So we watched, my partner and I watched. Oh, actually, I'm one of my stepsons, which is we sort of did a little
Oh, the
family
whole family watching some
viewing
nice
of.
murdery.
We watched. Have you ever seen that Evil Genius? It's a series, like a 4-part.
No, true crime stuff isn't really my bag.
Oh, it is good though, because that's about like a bank robbery where this guy's made to rob a bank with a bomb collar on, and it detonates and kills him. So there's a sort of murder investigation into this really weird robbery
Cool.
murder. So many weird characters in it, like just the weirdest human beings imaginable.
I do. Wait. Well, that's not a documentary, is it?
Yeah. Evil Genius is well worth a watch. But I watched 2 documentary like films as well. Tell Me Who I Am, which is really interesting
Mm,
about these 2 identical twins, and one of them is in a car crash, and it kind of starts with him waking up with amnesia.
okay.
He only remembers his brother. He doesn't remember his mom, his dad, his life, his friends, like nothing.
Ooh.
So his brother kind of teaches him to live again,
Is the brother
who everyone
okay?
is. And yeah. And he wasn't like, I think the one he was in the car crash he got knocked off a bike or
Oh,
something.
okay.
But yeah, so this brother sort of teaches him how to live. And then when they get to like their early 30s, their mum dies.
Mm,
And this sort of amnesiac brother's confused because his twin is acting really weird, like doesn't care that their mum's dead.
right.
And it turns out that the twin who wasn't in the car crash was keeping a massive secret from the other one, and basically everything he taught him was a complete lie.
Oh, that's quite messed
Um,
up.
it's really dark. Just be prepared. It's really, really good. Well worth watching, but it's
Is that a
dark.
Netflix one as well?
That is on Netflix. Yeah, it's also just for us.
Mm.
It all happened not far from where we live,
No
near
way.
Brighton. Yeah,
Did it
yeah,
really?
yeah, West Sussex.
Oh, mad.
It's it's quite a story.
Yeah,
And
sounds it.
then I also last night watched American Murder. It's got a sort of a subtitle bit that I can't remember, but
Yeah.
it's all about the disappearance of Shanann Watts and her 2 really young daughters.
Mm.
And it's all done through, like, the whole film is made with social media, like posts that this woman had made and her friends had made, and like videos and
Oh,
stuff, body cam footage from the police who were investigating,
I
interview footage
I know
from.
exactly what this is because I remember watching the story unfold like as it was happening. I
Yeah,
remember.
oh,
Yeah.
it was horrific. But the documentary is really well done because it takes like her social media stuff and her husband's social media stuff and text messages between them, text messages between her and her friends. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's really, really well made. But that
Oh,
was
awesome.
I struggled to sleep last night. Put it that
Yeah,
way. That really upset me.
it was quite a dark. Well, obviously it's quite dark, but yeah, that it was particularly like horrible.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of been me for the last couple of weeks. I've been quite busy with my films.
I've said it before, but as somebody who's a co-host on a film podcast, I need to. Thing is, I feel like I've got a good back catalogue of. I'm
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
on many a film. You know,
Yeah, that's you don't. I don't think you necessarily need to have like sat and watched 100 films to be able to talk about it.
Mark
And you've
Kermode
been
would
busy.
Mark Kermode would be ashamed.
Yeah, but he would also only expect you to watch artsy films, and he would also completely hate our next segment
Oh
because
yeah,
we are talking about some of the most reviled films just ever made, which is really unfair.
it is.
And so, I guess with that, that's a beautiful segue into. Shall I do it again? Shall I do what I did last time?
No.
That
Or what?
I did you not remember when I said "Let the games begin"?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Shall I do it again?
Yeah,
Okay. Let the games begin.
that was even better than the first time.
I know I'm going to add so much like reverb to that. That's going to be just you're not going to recognize it. Okay, so what we've done is well,
Yeah, what
Jack,
you've
you've
done.
not seen this bracket, so
No,
this
I'm
is going to
looking forward
be.
to it.
Well, I need to explain what I've done here because the first times in the very first episode we did the sci-fi bracket,
Yeah.
and I just literally put it in like a randomizer and just kind of didn't even look
Ah,
and did it like that. I did try that with these,
but
but it did not come out well
no.
because we're talking about Adam Sandler here,
Oh, aren't you
and
just?
I consistently love everything he does. I
Yep.
know, yeah, I know you do too.
Oh god, yeah.
But there is quite a big sort of disparity between
Yeah.
what he can do in one film and what he can do in the next. So what I've done is I've taken basically every film that he's starred in throughout his career.
Oh god.
I've taken out a few of the a few
Yeah.
for reasons I'll explain. So I took out. Well, I didn't count Going Overboard. I don't know if you've seen that.
I have. It's his very first film.
I have got it on DVD.
So have I. I got it in a charity shop for 20 pence.
Did you really? I paid way more than that for it.
Yeah.
It's not good, and I didn't feel it fair to kind of include it here. I did not include Jack and Jill, which I'll be perfectly honest. I think it's criticised a little bit unfairly. It's
Yeah.
it's
I
not
mean, it is
quite as bad as
terrible.
people think. It's not good, but it's not the worst film ever made.
Mm,
And I've taken out That's My Boy,
that is a
which
shame.
well, the subject matter is really problematic. For anyone who's not seen it, the whole plot revolves around a teenage boy who is sexually assaulted by a teacher
Oh
who
yeah.
gets his teacher pregnant, and the child born from that criminal union grows up and is getting married, and suddenly his dad appears and is an absolute piece of work. And basically, just for like 2 hours, they're just glorifying like sexual abuse and so
Yeah.
misogynistic. There's a whole weird incest subplot. It's just a mess, and it's quite problematic. And
Yeah.
I didn't really want to go into
I
it too much.
I would like to clarify. I take back what I just said about that being a shame because I saw it once and I vaguely remember laughing maybe twice. So in my head, I'm
It's
like, that's
no,
a
do
good
you know
Adam.
what?
If you laugh more than once in an Adam Sandler film, it's good.
Well, if this is true, but it is a shame because anything that has both Andy Samberg and Adam Sandler in should work.
They had good chemistry.
They're both incredible. They're both really funny. They can both act well when they need to.
Mm,
Both very intelligent men as well, in terms of what they can
yeah, yeah.
write and what they can do. And, it is a shame that it didn't work. But hopefully, we'll see him again together at some point. Who
Maybe
knows?
that's
Who
my
knows?
boy too. That's my
Oh,
grandson.
maybe we could just scrap the franchise and they could do
Yeah,
something
let's
different. I
get rid
don't
of that
know.
one. Also, we've talked about Mr. Sandler since episode 1, and I feel like a lot of people aren't on our kind of, love for Adam. So
Thing is, I think when you've got someone who is as unappreciated as Adam
yeah,
Sandler, like people really hate him.
yeah, they really do.
Like I can't remember who I was talking to, but the other day I was talking to someone who said that they'd just point blank refused to watch Uncut Gems because
Yeah,
Adam Sandler was in it.
we have a mutual friend who's like that.
Oh, do we?
You
Oh
know who
no,
you are.
don't. I mean, you'll have to tell me when we're done record. We won't like name and shame them, but
Oh, I'm
tell me
tempted.
after, and we'll
Oh, I will.
start a petition or something. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's really unfair because I think he is a talented man, and I get that some of his films aren't for everyone, but
I
I don't think
think
you should ever write someone off like that.
I
That's
think
not.
at the end of the day, right, he makes films and he has a blast doing it, and he does it with his friends and family, for his friends and family. Like really, like he's
Yeah,
got the money to be able to afford to do that. And they're just fun films.
they are, but also like if you go back and watch his early stand up, his time on Saturday Night
Oh,
Live,
SNL is great,
like
yeah.
he's done his dues. Like
He's put the
he
work
spent
in.
he spent so long building himself a platform where he could kind of get to this point, and he makes just like fun, harmless, silly
Exactly.
films. And if they're really bad, like That's My Boy was quite offensive to a lot of people,
Yeah.
and fair enough. That I'll admit that that's a bad one. Jack and Jill, I know people didn't like. It's not. It's stupid. That's sort of
Yeah.
the whole point of it, though.
Yeah, I think when you see Adam Sandler dressed up as his sister doing a stupid voice, you know, it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
highbrow comedy, is it?
no,
So basically, what I've done with this bracket here is for this first round, I have handpicked the who's up against who. Mostly, I've done them as difficult as possible.
yeah,
Pretty much every single one, I've tried to match them for myself at least in ones that I think are of very, very similar quality.
nice, okay,
There is one
oh god,
that is quite obviously not done that way
mm,
because there was an odd one out.
oh, okay,
There was an odd number of very good films, and so one of the very
interesting.
good films got paired up with a just
But Dad,
yeah. I suppose we should get started.
yeah,
Really.
let's crack on.
Okay, so to start off, Jack, I have got both of his Jennifer Aniston sort of buddy pieces.
Yes,
Just Go With It against Murder Mystery.
just go with it.
Do you know what that was my gut to?
Yeah, instantly. Um, yeah, I mean, Murder Mysteries was actually out of the bunch of Netflix films that he's done thus far. The deal we did with Netflix, I feel like
Yeah.
Murder Mysteries is one of the better ones.
Yeah, definitely. Because there was the Do Over.
Yeah, with David
That
Spade.
was then he did a few that he produced but didn't star in. So there was what was it? Something Memoirs of an International Assassin or something
Oh
with
yeah,
Kevin James.
yeah.
Which was stupid, but not bad. It
No,
was not great, but it was just there was The Wrong Missy, which was not good.
The Wrong Missy. I don't think I watched that one yet.
That was just Spade,
Oh,
and
was it?
I can't think what her name is. She's a weird looking lady, but
Oh, with the
yeah,
eyes.
with
Yeah,
the eyes,
yeah.
you know
I know
who.
what you mean.
But yeah, there was a few. Yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
The Murder Mystery was definitely the best of that bunch.
Yeah. Whereas Just Go With It is a classic by the numbers Adam Sandler rom com. It was great.
Yeah, I see. I felt like they both had elements of sort of rom com in
Mm.
them. Just Go With It was a real like rom com comedy. Like there
Yeah.
was a lot of really good comedy in there,
Yeah, there
really
was
funny
actually. I might have
stuff.
to rewatch that.
Nick Swardson was absolutely hilarious
Mm.
in it. Like he made the film for me. But Murder Mystery had a really good sort of like comedy action.
Yeah, the action was fairly
I
good
I
actually.
quite liked that. I also liked that mystery aspect of it because I was really confused, and it also had a pretty good cast. So
It did,
I
yeah.
did not hate it at all,
Oh
but
god,
I
no, no.
just Go With It really made me laugh.
Yeah, it's a good one. Also, quickly side note, but not really.
Y-
Who do you prefer, right? Jennifer Aniston and Adam, or why would I blame? Why would I
Drew
blame?
Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore, obviously Drew Barrymore.
Well,
Yeah, who?
I've got to say Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, I think I have to agree.
I mean I get again we can get to this properly like
Yeah, we'll move on.
shortly shortly, but no, Drew Barrymore.
Yeah,
Okay, the next one. This is that odd one out I mentioned.
right.
We've got Uncut Gems against Pixels.
Pixels for me is kind of like a Jack and Jill thing. That film got absolutely hated on.
Destroyed by
I had
critics. Yeah,
so much fun. I watched that at the cinema. I had a great time.
yeah. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was a really silly concept,
Yeah,
but that's sort of the point. Like it
yeah,
was just a really kind of wacky like okay, and this guy's the president, and I didn't dislike it, but
No,
it couldn't win against Uncut Gems,
no,
and
that's without, yeah,
so okay,
Uncut
I'll move it
Gems.
forward. Next up, we've got I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry against You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Oh, I'm going to make that noise for all of these because I just love.
Oh,
Did I click?
bleh.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh.
So I picked these two to go together because I felt like on the surface they're both sort of maybe offensive.
Yeah,
It's
especially
quite easy
Zohan.
to look at. It's quite easy to look at the premise of each of them and go, "Oh, you can't make a film about that."
Yeah.
Although I thought they were both done quite sensitively. I mean the accent in Zohan was problematic.
And the stereotypes were
There are a lot of stereotypes, but I mean, once you get past that, I think the general message is one of in
same with
both.
same with Chuck and Larry because again it's always a bit of a touchy subject, understandably,
Well, yeah.
But I feel like the overall message was, love. Like,
Yeah, does it matter and all that sort of
yeah,
stuff. And I think a lot of there is toxic behavior in Chuck and Larry in particular. There's a lot
yeah,
of like
definitely.
quite toxic stuff at the start, and then the whole point is they learn about exactly why
Yeah,
that's
what's
not
right and
okay
wrong.
and all that sort of thing. And I think ultimately the message there is a good one.
Hmm.
Zohan just didn't do it for me.
Did it
Like
not?
it was funny in places, but I just didn't.
I mean, it is so stupid. I watched it a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't watched it for years and years, but I was laughing quite a lot.
It's oh yeah, no, it's funny, but I just didn't. It's not memorable. Like for me, I remember Chuck and Larry. I've not seen it in years, and I
Yeah,
remember
same.
like most scenes. Whereas Zohan, I just vaguely remember there's like hairdressing stuff.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey's in it at some point.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
Like that's pretty much all I remember.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, for me, it's Chuck and Larry. Are you?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't go back and watch Zohan over and over again, whereas Chuck and Larry's quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking at it. I
Okay.
think.
Yeah, Chuck and Larry.
Okay, next up is two of the Sandler Barrymore mashups.
Classics.
This is a tough one for me, but 50 First Dates against The Wedding Singer.
The Wedding Singer.
Do you know what? That was what I was going to say as well. I think for me, The Wedding Singer. I honestly think the only thing that properly makes The Wedding Singer better, in my mind, is the fact that Adam Sandler sings
Yeah, he
like
does
several
sing,
times.
and that is a great, great song.
He sings loads of great songs in it. Like
He's a really talented musician as well, actually.
he is a hell of a singer. He can play a guitar pretty well
Yeah,
when he wants to.
and Billy Idol's in it. So what more could you want?
That was so weird.
It was very weird.
They're both incredible films. Like they're both really
Oh
good
yeah,
films.
51st
And
Date is a great film.
yeah, I especially like Sean Astin in it. I thought Sean Astin was funny.
Yeah, I
Like I didn't
forgot
realize he
about
could
that.
be funny.
Yeah,
But yeah, for me, it's got to be The Wedding Singer too. So
was The Wedding Singer the first film they did together?
I believe it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, also for that a bonus point, I feel like because that was the start of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah, because they also did another one, which will come up
Okay.
shortly. But yeah, that okay. So we've got that. So moving on, we've got two of his sillier films: Little Nicky against Mr. Deeds.
Oh, Mr. Deeds. I'm really not a massive fan of Little Nicky. I know we touched on it before, but
It's
Mr. Deeds is
well, do you know what? I was actually going to say whatever you think on this because for me, I'm not sure I can choose.
really they both the kind of same.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know. I think I've not seen Mr. Deeds as much,
Mm.
and I don't remember it as well. But what I do remember, I remember it as being sort of slightly better than Little Nicky. Like Little Nicky's a little bit annoying.
The voice is too much.
Yeah, but I do remember as a child, it was my first ever Adam Sandler film.
Nice.
That I remember at least, and my uncle sat me down to watch it, and we watched it together, and that's just a great memory. So
That is a good memory.
yeah, for me, I guess it's kind of got a bit of a sentimental, but I'm happy to go with Mr. Deeds too. So okay, next up we've got Anger Management against The Longest Yard.
Oh, see, Anger Management is a really good film, and it's Jack Nicholson, so that's a great thing to have. However, I haven't seen it as many times as The Longest Yard.
No, I was going to say the same thing, and it's The Longest Yard is dumb. Like,
That's
it's a
really
really
dumb.
stupid film, but it is also like him and Adam Sandler and Chris Rock together work very well.
Yeah.
I know Anger Management has got Jack Nicholson, but The Longest Yard has a really good like sort of ensemble cast.
Yeah.
And as much as it's a really stupid film, it got quite like towards the end there was a bit of like emotion in it.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
I did feel some stuff.
That's always good to feel something.
I felt something. And I know it's a remake as well, which
What, The Longest Yard is?
Yeah, they did. It was a remake of a much more serious, I believe, film of
I did not know
basically
that.
the same plot.
Okay.
That I think starred Burt Reynolds, which is
Really?
why he then appears in it, if that makes sense.
Okay, that's cool.
I like The Longest Yard, but Anger Management, I felt like, as much as I enjoyed it to a point.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was mostly just an excuse for Adam Sandler to scream at the camera for like however long it took to make.
It was a lot of screaming.
As much as like I find it quite funny, but it is also a little bit like, oh, I wouldn't want to watch that too often because that's
exhausting.
Whereas The Longest Yard, I could just kind of chuck on any given afternoon.
Yeah. I would tend to agree. Yeah. Let's go Longest Yard.
Okay, Longest Yard.
Cool. So far, so good.
Okay, next up we've got 8 Crazy Nights against Bedtime Stories.
Funny story about, not Bedtime Stories, but 8 Crazy Nights, right? So I've fallen a bit behind purely because I ran out of room, but I have every single one of Adam Sandler's films to a certain point, like chronologically. I've got all the SNL stuff. And for Christmas one year, I got 4 copies of 8 Crazy Nights, and and I've still not watched it, and they're all sitting there sealed. So I might have to.
That's weird that you should say that because I've got 2 copies.
Have you? What? Why?
I have no idea, but I love it. Like, it's amazing.
It looks great.
It's so funny.
I like the animation style as well.
So do I, like sort of Disney-esque.
Yeah, nice 2D.
But so the first time I watched it, I genuinely, no word of a lie, cried with laughter.
Really?
Yeah, it just really got me. Like, it's you in particular, I think will either love it or hate it because there are quite a few jokes about one of the main characters having seizures at inopportune moments.
No, I appreciate that.
And yeah, it is really funny. So I think for me, I do like Bedtime Stories, but I felt like Bedtime Stories had a bit of a problem with like, I don't think it knew who it was aimed at.
Yeah, because every time I talk about it, everyone's like, "Oh, I don't want to watch that," because A, it's an Adam Sandler film, and B, it's a child's film.
Yeah, see, it is a child's film. Like, it's very like the plot is very sort of magical.
Yeah, bedtime,
like this is what you would the sort of story you would want to tell to a child. But then a lot of the humor is not at all appropriate, and like I wouldn't show that to my children.
Would you not?
They're 3 and 6. No, I think my 6-year-old maybe, but I don't think. I think a lot of it she would not be interested in, and I just I felt a bit like, is this for adults or is it for children? Because it didn't really feel like it was for either.
No, it's been a while since I watched it, so I've only seen that. So I will actually leave this one up to you.
Okay, I'm going 8 Crazy Nights because it's
okay, cool.
Yeah, I
know it's a holiday film, but can I watch it not Christmas time, or does it need to be? I need to be in the festive spirit.
It is very festive.
Okay, I'll save it.
But it's up to you, really. Like, I know people who watch Christmas films year round. It's weird. I find it weird.
It is a bit.
It's, I guess, given that we're not Jewish people, like,
no, that's true.
It's not a Christmas film. It's festive, but it is a Hanukkah film.
Yeah.
So, I guess, you're not betraying Jesus by watching it early.
No, well, that's good because that was my main concern.
Well, that's always a main concern with any film. Am I betraying Jesus? It's like the first thing on the flowchart of should I watch this film?
Yeah, that's the very top.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to wait until the festive season and I'm going to watch that, and I'm going to watch all 4 copies of it.
Nice. Yeah, back to back.
Straight.
Break them in. Okay. next we've got Reign Over Me versus Punch Drunk Love.
Reign Over Me is one that's on my list and it's been on there forever. However, Punch Drunk Love, I am literally in love with. I think it is borderline a perfect film. It's so good.
Okay, so this one for me is quite tricky because I've not seen Reign Over Me, but I also haven't seen Punch Drunk Love for like 10 years.
Yeah.
When I did see it though, I loved it.
Yeah.
I think it's the film that kind of keyed me into like Adam Sandler can really act.
Yeah.
Before that, I kind of just thought of him as like, oh, he's quite funny.
The
Like,
Poop Man.
I like his films, and yeah, he shouts and he's silly.
He makes good voices.
And then you watch him in a film like that, and there was so much depth to it.
Yeah, there is.
It was so nuanced that for me, it's got to be Punch Drunk Love, but I've not seen Reign Over Me, so
no, neither have I. We need to sort that
out. Wow, well, that never stood a chance, did it?
No, it didn't. And also, as Adam Sandler fanatics, I feel ashamed that I've not seen every single body of work.
But see, this is true, but it's sort of worse because that's one of his most like critically acclaimed.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Films, other than obviously Uncut Gems, but that's quite a recent one.
Yeah.
Reign Over Me is Don Cheadle as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's a 9/11 post 9/11.
That's right.
Or something. Okay. Well, that's one to watch for both of us.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so next, I put these two together for the simple fact that they have both made me cry on multiple occasions.
Oh, hold on. Let me try and take a stab at what this could be.
Okay, go on.
Oh, God. Right. Think of tearjerkers. Hoobie Halloween.
No,
I'm joking. That film, I had to turn off.
I've not watched that.
I got 10 minutes through it, and I can't do
it. I think I got 10 seconds into it, and just
it was bad. It was really bad.
Face it. Okay,
tearjerkers. I don't actually know. Tell me.
Big Daddy versus Click.
Oh man,
so, I mean, I feel like I should clarify here Big Daddy, it's quite obvious the bit that's going to upset people.
Yeah.
It's, that's sort of a given. In Click, I feel like it's not quite as obvious because it's not known as a particularly good film.
Is it not?
Not really. Like, it's kind of known as one of his all right ones, but it's not got a great reputation.
I'm just living in my fantasy world that all Adam Sandler films
they're all
are great.
It made me cry. The bit where he's like, I mean, spoiler alert, if you've not seen this film that came out like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But he's like dying, when he's like fast forwarded through his life and he's dying and he's like laying there in the rain and he wishes he'd lived his life differently. And like, it's a wonderful life.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it, I just sobbed.
Well,
like there was something about it just really got me. And he does have a real like just presence. Like when he's acting, he
can pull it out the bag.
Yeah, even in a film like Click that was mostly just like fart jokes and boob jokes and David Hasselhoff. So I think for me personally here, I want to go Big Daddy.
Yeah, I agree. That's also of that golden age.
Yeah.
I just love.
Yeah. I think it's a film for me as well. Like I remember seeing it when I was quite young and I remember watching it and thinking, I really want to be a dad.
Yeah.
Like as a child, it made me want to have a child.
Yeah.
Which is probably a weird thing to say.
But no one's kids.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got 4 of them now, so...
Yeah, what a weirdo.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry, we do have a TV, it's just...
Jokes. I'm only joking. I'm just not cut out to be a dad yet.
No, that's fair. It's not for everyone, that's for sure. It's a lot of work.
Oh, God, yeah, I'm a Billy Madison at the moment.
I mean, I feel like this is sort of film adjacent still. This is very much relevant. The other day, because they wanted to, I sat and watched Trolls World Tour.
Oh, you are dad of the year.
Yeah, I also watch my youngest son, he's 3, and he loves a show called Blaze and the Monster Machines, which is...
Never heard of it.
Oh, well, you are missing out. It's monster trucks doing science, basically, with their everyday sort of adventures. They live in a monster truck world where everyone is a monster truck.
That sounds great.
The main character, Blaze, is voiced by Nolan North.
Wait, who's Nolan North?
He was Nathan Drake in all the Uncharted games.
Of course.
He's in everything. because I went from playing through Uncharted to sitting watching it with him, and I was just really like, this is so surreal.
Weird.
But he loves that, and so I watched that with him quite a lot. And like you do, there's so many things that I think, I really want to watch this film. But it's like Uncut Gems. I got to like 20 minutes from the end and had to stop because he came in the room, and I was like, "Oh, I thought you were, I thought you were not here."
Yeah.
And he was just like, "What are you watching?" I'll watch the rest later.
Yeah, maybe when you go to bed.
So yeah, kids not for everyone, but
No.
Big Daddy very much for me.
And for everyone.
Are you you all right with that? Yeah, Big Daddy.
Big Daddy all the way.
Okay. All right. Next up, we've got Grown Ups versus the Waterboy.
I mean, I'm gonna go Waterboy. However, I
was going to say the opposite.
Really?
Well, the way I was thinking about it was, I like the Waterboy. It's so silly. It's so quotable.
It really is.
Grown Ups has got that. There's that pure joy of like just watching them as friends, just having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably sway me to Waterboy, to be honest, if you feel strongly about it.
I don't feel this is a problem. I don't. It's a real close one because I too love Grown Ups. Not so much Grown Ups 2, but the first one is.
No, do you know? I thought Grown Ups 2 had its moments though. I did enjoy it.
Definitely.
Like, okay.
Steve Buscemi's in Waterboy, isn't he?
I believe so. I've not seen it in years.
Because all I can remember his character out of the two is the one from Grown Ups at the water park.
Yeah. That's so funny.
It feels wrong, but I will give it to Grown Ups.
Yeah. Are you sure on that? Do we need to deliberate further?
I don't know. What's your gut?
My gut is Grown Ups, just because I think it's got all of them. It's got the whole gang. It's
got the crew.
But
okay, we'll go Grown Ups.
Okay. I thank you for ceding that one to me.
That's all right. It wasn't much.
Okay. All right. Next up, possibly the hardest one: Billy Madison versus Happy Gilmore.
Oh, see, I knew it was going to come to this.
Classics.
These are my two favorite Adam films.
Me too. However, for me, there is a clear winner.
Billy Madison.
Yeah. All day, every day. I love Happy Gilmore.
It really is a great film.
It is. I think, though, for me, the best part of Happy Gilmore wasn't the Sandman, but it was Ben Stiller's weird cameo.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the most memorable part, which is such a small part that I think, okay, it can't be as good as Billy Madison then, because I remember most of Billy Madison. Like, actually, quickly, side note, that reminds me, in possibly the first episode, maybe the second, we talked about Billy Madison.
Yeah.
Second episode, the trivia.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that that the principal in it, the revolting blob, I thought that he was played by what's his face, Andy Richter, is that his name? Little dumpy guy who does like Letterman or whatever. That's who I had in my head, and then when I watched it, I was like, "Oh, I know the guy. He was also in Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Little sweaty fat man who looks a bit like Thingy from Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
who's great. He's brilliant.
I could see how you got those two mixed up. Looking at them, they are very similar.
I mean, they're not that similar. I don't know why I had that in my head, but yeah. So Billy Madison, it's got to be surely.
And also, Billy Madison, I feel like growing up, we watched that together quite a lot in our teens.
Oh, so many times. Like, so many. I'm pretty sure at one point we did a word-for-word reenactment of it.
I reckon we could do it.
I mean, maybe not now. I'm a little rusty, but
wow.
I do remember you telling someone at one point that if peeing your pants was cool, that we should call you Miles Davis. And I was the only person who understood what you were talking about.
Oh, that's a great quote. And also, I have a painting that you painted me, which is a replica of a painting in the film that is of a duck that says, "That's quacktastic."
Oh, yeah.
I still have that.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's incredible.
It's with my Adam Sandler collection.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. That makes me feel great about Billy Madison.
Yeah, Billy Madison.
Like, even better about Billy Madison.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is actually the last one of the of this first round, which is quite exciting. Again, a really tough one for me, which I did not expect. But Funny People versus Blended.
Oh, Funny People, I've only watched a couple of times.
It was bloated.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on, but I liked that it was a sort of that was Adam Sandler poking fun at himself, like big
Yeah.
time poking
Yeah.
fun at himself, and it's a very sort of weirdly complex story.
Yeah, it's got layers.
It's got a lot to it, but Blended is not that at all.
That's the other
Like,
Drew Barrymore one,
it's
yeah, where they go on
yeah,
holiday.
where he's got like 2, 3 daughters and she's got 2 sons, and they pretend to be one big family to
That's
go
it.
on this like African
Safari.
safari holiday.
I liked that film a lot.
I really liked it. I could not explain why either. I really loved it. I got to the end and I was like, that was amazing.
Yeah, it
And
was
I
good.
honestly can't tell you why. I just enjoyed it.
I
So
think it's because of those two again. They just work so
they
well
have got
together.
a chemistry. Drew Barrymore's she's quite magnetic. Like I don't know what it is about her, but she does. But I think she complements him well. So
yeah, they bring out the best in each other, definitely.
I do think though, because like we talked a little bit about Jennifer Aniston, but I think the Sandman has chemistry with everyone.
He's a lovable guy.
Because like in Mr. Deeds as well, he has chemistry with Winona Ryder.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he can just pull it off.
Do you know
He's
what it
quite
is?
a
It's
man.
because he's funny.
It is because he's funny, but I think he's also genuinely a nice guy.
He's a sweetheart, isn't he? Like,
so I think that's
I can
just
see
it just
why.
works. But so are we both saying Blended?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Blended.
That's nice. I was not expecting that. I thought we might have to have a bit of a punch up.
Yeah, I might have to rewatch that, but Blended definitely.
I mean, in my head, I think Funny People is a little bit more of a Seth Rogen film than it is an Adam Sandler film.
Seth Rogen heavy.
I know sort of Adam Sandler's kind of the focus, but it's framed by sort of Seth Rogen's character.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So we're moving on to Just Go With It and Uncut Gems.
Oh.
I mean, see, this is kind of what I foresaw happening. Can Uncut Gems lose?
Well, I did also think this. Right, there's no doubt about it. Uncut Gems is the better film, easily, because, Just Go With It is another Adam Sandler film. However, I often go to Adam Sandler when I feel horrible, like when I want to watch something that's kind of gonna, cheer me up a bit and is an easy watch. So,
well, this is true. Yeah, if you're looking for something to kind of to lift your spirits, maybe it's a different way of looking at it. I mean, you're right. You can watch Just Go With It at kind of any point. If you need something to cheer you up, if you need something to distract you, you want to laugh, you want to but it's also got a lot in there. Like it's funny. Like when you really watch it, it's funny. But also when you're not watching it like properly, like when it's on in the background, it's still funny.
Yeah, you can hear bits and you pick it up.
Uncut Gems is tense, like throughout. I also so I don't know how many times you've seen it, but having just seen it once, I'm now not sure that I'd need to watch it again.
Do you not? See, I think I've watched it 3 times.
Well, see, now I know exactly how it's all going to play out. I feel like that takes away a lot of what it can do. Like a lot of what it did was make me feel like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
It is incredibly stressful.
And without that, I'm not sure that I'll enjoy it the same way. So
second time round, obviously the first time you're paying attention and you really want to kind of like concentrate. Whereas second time, for me, with all films, I'm just kind of like, I'm enjoying looking at, costumes or weird,
you can take it in better.
Yeah, but character.
I mean, I still think, even considering that, I do still think Just Go With It does have more kind of rewatchability.
Yeah, massively.
Oh, are we on the verge of something?
Yeah, controversial, extremely controversial. And I love Uncut Gems, but I just
I did love it too, but I'm not sure on this. Now you've put it like that, I think you've swayed me over.
Yeah, Just Go With It. I feel just go with it.
Okay, we're doing it. Sorry, Uncut Gems.
Yeah,
that's
sorry, Safdie
surprising. Brothers. Okay, we've now got Chuck and Larry versus The Wedding Singer.
Wedding Singer for me.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty easy for me too. Yeah. Wedding Singer. Okay, next up we have got Mr. Deeds versus The Longest Yard.
Longest Yard, I think.
Do you know what? I was gonna say the same thing, but I wasn't sure.
I don't know. Mr. Deeds is quite a
Mr.
good
Deeds is
one.
funnier. Mr. Deeds is much funnier, and I think is underrated.
Yeah.
Whereas The Longest Yard is, I'd call The Longest Yard bang average.
It's very middle of the road.
Okay, Mr. Deeds, let's do it.
Mr. Deeds it is.
Also stars Peter Gallagher, who I love.
Yep, I know who you mean.
Yeah, he's
Sandy
Cohen.
That's
in
the
the
one.
OC. Yeah. I'm really impressed that you know that.
Yeah.
I mean, we grew up together. I wasn't ever going to let you not watch the OC, but still,
yeah.
I won't sing the theme song. But
no, please.
I'm singing it in my head. Okay, next up, 8 Crazy Nights, Punch Drunk Love.
Well, this is a horrible one because I've not seen one of them, but Punch Drunk Love I feel like would take that.
Yeah, I'm happy to go with that too. Punch Drunk Love.
It's just a beautiful film as well. Like, obviously the acting is great and the story is great, but visually it's lovely.
You see, I don't remember that part. I just remember loving the story, loving the acting.
Well, it's Paul Thomas Anderson, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, see that I did not remember that, but that will. I do. I mean, I will just say though, before we move on, 8 Crazy Nights. Anyone who's not seen it, it's a great film to watch in the festive season. It's sort of a musical, but it's not a musical. It's got musical numbers, but they're really funny ones.
Yeah, I like a good musical number.
They're Adam Sandler musical numbers. They're funny.
Do you know what? Whilst you were explaining your decision, I was quickly having a little browse on IMDb, and I went to Paul Thomas Anderson. Right, I had no idea he is married to Maya Rudolph.
Is he really?
They've got 4 kids. I did not know that.
Cool. Neither did I. That's interesting.
That's cool.
I like finding stuff like that out.
Yeah,
that's nice.
That's
I
great.
like that.
Anyway,
well, congrats to them.
Yeah,
I guess.
What a great couple.
Okay, well, this is going to be easy. Big Daddy versus Grown Ups.
You say that. Are we thinking Big Daddy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Grown Ups. I enjoy Grown Ups, but it's no Big Daddy.
It's got no Scuba Steve either. So.
No. Scuba Steve.
Scuba Steve.
Okay. Big Daddy is moving on. Okay. Billy Madison versus Blended.
Billy Madison.
Yeah. No question.
No question.
Right. We're now on to these are kind of the eliminators, and then we're down to our last 3.
Oh.
Then, because it was a sort of a slightly weird number, we're going to have to just do first, second, third from the last ones. Which that's nice, like medalists.
That's all right.
Okay, so Just Go With It versus The Wedding Singer.
Oh,
this is tough for me.
That is a tough one. I'd just go with it.
Do you know, I was going to say the same, just for Nick Swardson alone.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, Mr. Deeds, Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah, all day.
All day.
Okay, Big Daddy versus Billy Madison.
Billy Madison.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Big Daddy is a terrific film, but Billy Madison is just somewhere special in my heart.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, so we have got our finalists.
Oh,
These
boy.
are our top 3, and we need to put them in order. So we've got Just Go With It, Punch Drunk Love, Billy Madison.
It's a perfect order, actually.
I was about to say the same thing. Perfect order there.
Yeah,
just
that's
right there.
great.
Just Go With It, number 3.
Yeah, because Billy Madison is, we're slightly biased because of the amount of times we've watched it. However, that is peak Adam Sandler, right? Punch Drunk Love is a very, arty, it's one of those films.
Yeah, interesting. Sort of.
It's a bit different. So, you can have your Adam Sandler, then you can have something a bit more...
You can have your Sandler and eat him too.
Exactly right. Just Go With It bookends that lovely. Like, you return back to another classic.
To the silliness.
Yeah,
so
to
we've
the silliness.
I'll read out the results for the championship of Adam Sandler. So that would mean that our top 3 Adam Sandler films are: 3rd place, Just Go With It; 2nd place, Punch Drunk Love; and 1st place, Billy Madison.
I'm pretty happy with that, actually.
So am I. I'm actually, that could not have worked out better. I think I was expecting Uncut Gems to be in there, to be perfectly honest.
I don't feel like it's earned that. It's a great film. It's already legendary, but it's not
quite made that cut yet.
No,
I feel like the right ones have moved on, and the right ones have placed.
I feel like just go with it. Could have been a very close third with you could easily swap out another like Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, I think The Wedding Singer could have been. Just go with it. It's definitely the surprise
I
finalist to
wasn't
me.
expecting that to be in there.
But I guess we love it more
The
than we
fact
realised.
Happy Gilmore's not in there is extremely surprising to me because is like my second go-to after Billy Madison.
Yeah, no, that's I'm happy with that. I'm gonna frame that, put it up on the wall.
Nice.
Maybe if I get time.
You're not gonna.
Between all my many films that I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, all right, mate.
Okay, moving on. Jack, let's just have a talk about what is going on in the world today. Except, let's not talk about the real world with all its many problems and its crooked politicians and natural disasters. Let's just talk about movies. So, it's actually been an extra week since we last did an episode because I did not schedule them properly. And
that was partly my fault. I apologise.
Well, no, it was more my fault because I left it all to the last minute.
But you did put out 2 great mini episodes.
Yeah, thank you. The mini episodes are quite. I think they're starting to take a shape now, like a sort of regular,
definitely
sort of format. And I honestly have no idea what the next one's going to be about. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
I'll probably wing that next week, but we'll see. But yeah, so we've had an extra week of news, and surprisingly, there has been nothing of any real interest happen in the movie world.
You'd think with the extra week something would happen, but not a lot has happened.
No, not really. Just more talk of like, oh, this one's going to be in cinemas, and people saying, well, I can't go to a cinema, and that's kind of the main thing. But we've had a couple of trailers. Did you happen to catch the new Space Jam trailer?
I did.
And how are you feeling about that?
Not particularly excited, I got to be honest. I feel like Space Jam is just a classic. For me, it's a case of why remake something that doesn't need to be done.
Yeah, why fix it if it's not broke?
I get it. Like,
I feel exactly the same way. I think it's nice for kids who probably have never seen the first Space Jam, probably never will.
But also, I feel like we were at that age where, especially in the UK, okay, like Looney Tunes weren't as big as in the States, but it was on TV and we're kind of like aware of it.
Yeah, it was a staple of our childhood.
Yeah. I feel like kids these days, like everything's changed so much. I haven't seen anything like Looney Tunes or anything of that style.
See, that's quite interesting you'd say that, because I put some on for my children not long ago, and they were not bothered.
Were they not?
No. So my daughter's she's 6, so she's now of an age where if I tell her like, oh, I used to love this when I was little, she will very politely watch it and be like, oh, that's really good. I really liked it. But I can tell, like, you just look at her and you're like, you're not enjoying this
she's not
at all.
It.
Whereas my son, who is 3, does not care. He will just look me straight in the face and go, no, don't like it. So, yeah, they were not impressed by Looney Tunes, which is, I did do a little test just out of sort of interest. I thought, okay, well, I'll test them on another thing that I loved as a kid, which was Batman, the animated series.
Cool.
And they loved it.
Oh, well, that's good.
I think maybe Looney Tunes just doesn't have the staying power.
Maybe, but then again, like I said, we are in the UK. I don't know how big Looney Tunes
No, but I just think they've dropped off, haven't they? Like, they've not done... No. Space Jam was kind of the last time they were big, really.
Well, and also, everyone... Even if, as a kid, if you're not into sports particularly, Michael Jordan. Like,
yeah, Michael Jordan's iconic.
Yeah,
I can't get excited about this new Space Jam. Like, I know they've stuffed it full of like Easter eggs and like, I just don't care.
But if that's what I'm banking on, some good Easter eggs, I just feel like, what's the point?
Well, exactly. If you're going to go and see a film just because there's Easter eggs, is it worth it?
Pointless.
Like,
also,
probably not.
Is Bill Murray in it? That is the main question.
I have no idea.
If Bill Murray doesn't come on and save the game at the end, I'm not watching it.
No, I mean, that could happen. That should happen in every film.
Yeah. Why not?
Just have Bill come out and just
do his thing.
Sort it. Yeah, so there was that. Did you happen to catch the trailer for Reminiscence?
I did not.
Oh, well, let me tell you about it.
Please do.
It is Hugh Jackman, and it's a sort of... I got kind of Total Recall vibes from it, but in sort of the inverse to Total Recall, in that it's a sci-fi world where people relive their memories.
Okay.
Basically, from what I remember, the world's just kind of gone down the toilet, and people spend most of their time. They go into these sort of machine things that let them relive their memories.
Ooh.
I guess a la Assassin's Creed
Oh yeah.
sort of thing, but not like their own history.
Yeah.
And there's a sort of love story at the core. Like Hugh Jackman is desperate to find his like lost love,
Okay.
and it looked a bit weird, a little
What,
bit
like a bit
dark.
cheesy? Oh, dark.
I like Hugh Jackman in stuff like that.
Yeah, same.
Like he's got quite a sort of powerful
Mm.
like way to him in stuff like that. Like in
Prisoners.
Prisoners, that I just loved and I will talk about every time I get a
Yeah.
chance. But also in like The Prestige and stuff like that,
Yeah.
he's got a real kind of
He can switch it on, can't he?
yeah, he is good in a thriller, and I think he does sci-fi quite well, and should be really interesting. So I'm excited for that.
That's cool. I'll check that out.
I know we talked a bit about the Green Knight the other week, and they've
Yeah.
released a sort of world building kind of video accompaniment,
Cool.
which is the guy who is playing the Green Knight, whose name I can't remember. He is reading the poem Gawain and the Green Knight, which is the basis for the film.
Okay.
It's I mean
Is it
it's an actor reading a
atmospheric?
poem. It's it's I mean it's worth a watch. Like if you're excited for the film, it definitely builds a
Cool.
little bit more hype.
Yeah, yeah.
So definitely worth a listen, a watch if you've got that. But for me, the big news, the big news was I don't know if you saw what Vin Diesel's been saying.
I haven't, but any day Vin Diesel is running his mouth is a good day.
So I mean, it's been pretty public this feud of the last few years with The Rock and Vin Diesel,
Okay,
where
yeah.
they very subtly badmouth each other in interviews and stuff. And Vin Diesel is the more I like hear him say things, like read interviews and watch him doing stuff, I just think, who is this man?
Yeah.
Like what is going on in his brain? Like I don't know if you've seen all the old they're like legendary memes now, but I don't know if you've seen the old Vin book stuff,
Yes, yeah.
which is just incredible. But then I did a news piece for the website when I first sort of started up,
Yeah.
where Vin Diesel made this massive deal of like, we will have a theatrical release for F9. I refuse to like release it to home streaming, and it was all just like, okay, but there are like thousands of people dying a day.
Yeah.
Maybe just don't talk about this now.
Who actually cares?
Yeah, like at that point. And it's great that it's going to get a theatrical release, or it's had a theatrical
Oh, yeah,
release,
of
or
course,
wherever
yeah.
we are with it. I'm not really keeping
No, neither.
up with it. But he says weird stuff. And the latest is he was talking about when The Rock first joined the franchise, and for some reason he felt the need to sort of establish his dominance by saying that he needed to give The Rock some tough love in order to get
What does
the
that
right
even mean?
performance out of him. I dread to think.
Oh, yeah, that sounds horrible.
It's so condescending
Yeah,
to,
coming
I
from Vin
mean,
Diesel.
yeah, and looking at The Rock, like The Rock is, not only is he a massive man who has a background in, I mean, pretending, sure,
Yeah,
but he
play
does have
fight.
a background in beating people up.
Yeah, of course.
So do you really want to talk down to him? Like, oh, I
No.
had to give him some tough love to get the right performance out of him. It's like they're films where people drive cars really fast and
Yeah.
jump over them and stuff.
The Rock has got a better catalogue of work. I mean, they're not all great, but if you compare the two's, careers.
Yeah, I think I've got to say, I think The Rock has done a lot more films than Vin Diesel, surely.
Yeah, surely.
I feel like Vin Diesel's more of a one-trick pony. Like Vin Diesel can't carry off comedy.
No, he
Whereas The
sounds too
Rock,
stupid.
yeah, The Rock can be funny, and The Rock can also be serious, and The Rock can also be a nice guy, and he can also be a bad guy. And I don't understand why you would come out and say that about your co-star. Like
I don't know.
that's really
It
weird.
is a weird alpha move. I don't get why was he threatened?
I don't know. And The Rock seems like such a lovely human being.
Yeah, he's another
And I
one.
don't know quite why. I don't know, maybe he feels threatened.
Maybe.
I don't get it. But I guess, I mean, I think that's probably the news.
I think you might be right.
So I guess we should move on to our final segment, which is our pet peeves.
Yes.
Go on, Jack. Hit me with yours. What's been annoying you?
Straight off the bat. I think one of them, and it's quite a broad point, but it still stands. Interesting, and I use interesting with like air quotes, but you can't see that. Editing decisions. So I'm talking, well, maybe not even editing. I guess it's kind of to do with like the director of photography, but like really, really dimly shot scenes, like where you can't see what's going on.
It's I mean, the one that springs to mind first when you say that is actually Game of Thrones. You know that,
Yeah,
the final series. That
yeah,
it was a good episode, but it was like, what is going on?
yeah. No one could see it.
I don't get this. I guess by extension, though, could I also sort of in my head apply that to fight scenes that move so fast you have no idea what's going on?
Yeah, I too have got this under a point as like quick, overly quick, fast editing. I feel like
Yeah,
it's used as a tool to maybe if they didn't get a very good shot or a
yeah, to
fight scene,
obscure,
yeah, so they can kind of like, right,
make it look,
don't look at this.
Yeah. You don't need to see
You
that.
don't need to
Just
see it.
he's fighting because he's moving so fast.
Yeah, they're just fists
Yeah, the
flying.
winner is the one standing at the end.
Exactly.
Yeah, that annoys me. Like, as someone, especially like personally, to again, it's not film related. I don't care. I'm talking about it.
Do it.
As someone with a background in like boxing and having spent years training and stuff, it's really not that hard to
No, it's
like
not.
to seem like you're fighting someone. If you know, like when you watch like the Rocky films and they can't avoid that whole. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of them were not good, but the later ones, like the Creed ones and films like Warrior, I don't know if you've seen that. It's an MMA film that, Southpaw's not bad. They're built around fighting. They have to show it. You can't just like blur through an entire like boxing match because that's part of the story and it can be done well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, to be honest, I feel like it's laziness, a lot of it.
It is, yeah. I think lack of. Although I watch there's a YouTube channel I follow called Corridor Crew, and they do a lot of like stuntmen reacts and CGI artist reacts, and
Yeah.
they say a lot of the time, if it's really fast paced and horrible, that is lack of planning on the director's front. Like they don't allow time to rehearse, so they just shoot the same thing.
To me though, that's mad. Like, you think of an action film, surely the fight scenes would be something that you would prioritize.
Top thing to do.
Yeah, that's just so bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. But then again, I'm not a filmmaker, so.
Well, no, but we're connoisseurs.
Oh, the finest connoisseurs.
That's what we're going with. No, that's a good one. That's a very good point. I'd not really thought about that. But
also, did you? I mean, this deserves its whole other episode. But the second Fantastic Beasts films, that first 5 minutes, I didn't have a clue what was going on, and I saw that in a pitch black cinema. I could not see a thing.
All I remember of it is thinking, is the TV broken?
Yeah, literally.
Has something gone wrong in the? I checking all the wires and like, oh no, that's just the way it looks. Oh, okay, yeah. What was that about?
Don't know. Weird.
That's a very good point. I like that.
Oh, thanks. What about you? What's grinding your gears?
So mine is, as I think it's been the last sort of. Actually, no, I've done a couple of CGI related ones, but this is a writing related problem. I know I've done at least one of those before, but I was watching yesterday, which I know you don't feel too strongly about, and I didn't hate it. It was weird. It was not made to its potential at all.
No, and it's Danny Boyle as well. That's the strange thing.
Yeah, and Himesh Patel was brilliant. Like, he's got a real something about him.
Yeah, he does.
And they just wasted it by having this weird. So again, this is the writing. This isn't my pet peeve, but the writing of it was just like, because I mean, I put in my review, check the site and give it a read if you haven't, because it's worth reading.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It was written by one guy, I can't remember his name. It was written by this guy first, and then it was taken and rewritten.
Right.
By I can't think of his name. He's the guy who wrote like Notting Hill and Four Weddings and a Funeral and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he basically took what was quite a dramatic fantasy kind of story with sort of moral kind of undertones.
Yeah.
And he just injected this weird romance story into it that didn't need to be there. And that was just weird writing. But
It was.
the thing that I've brought along with me today as the thing that's really been bothering me is so in that film, again, I don't want to spoil it for anyone,
Are we
but
talking
this
about the
is
ending?
not right at the end, no.
Okay.
Although there was stuff with that really bothered me too.
Yeah.
But there's a bit sort of halfway through where this girl he loves and has been in love with for most of his life says to him that she feels the same way, but she needs him to be able to prioritize her.
That's right, I remember, yeah.
And he's got this like record label on the phone who are like, well, you need to be here right now. They're on the other side of the world. Just to clarify, he's in like Liverpool and they're in LA, and they say, we need you here right now. And if you don't get on the phone in the next 10 seconds, you're going to lose your recording like contract. And I mean, I had so many problems with that scene. Yeah. So, I mean, the biggest one would be, first of all, in the story, he is like the biggest singer-songwriter in the world.
Yeah.
If he can't boss the record label around by saying, I need 10 minutes, just
give me some
go
time
away, then, I mean, I didn't find that particularly realistic, that he was just like, oh, I better do exactly what they say.
Yeah.
I also didn't think it was in keeping with his character, which is kind of my problem, is character choices that make no sense.
Yeah.
No, when you weigh them against, you know, the things the character's done before,
like plot
the way that character... Yeah. And it was so transparently done to build a bit of drama, a bit of like, oh, will they, won't they?
Yeah.
And as soon as that happens, I just think, I don't care anymore.
No.
I don't care if they do, because they would have then. Like, if that was written realistically.
Yeah.
And I guess by extension of that, bad dialogue has also been really bothering me. I wrote a short story the other day, which, again, if you aren't following me personally on the Twitter, which is that's one of the social medias that the kids use. They like it's pretty cool. I'm pretty like with it.
I heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, like it's kind of underground, but yeah, Twitter it's called. Yeah. No, I've been posting stuff on there about like stuff I've been writing sort of outside of film, and I was writing this story and it was quite dialogue based, and it got me thinking about when you watch a film and the dialogue is just so hammy.
Yeah.
And you think, these are supposed to be people.
Yeah, that sounds like their job.
Yeah, and if you met someone in real life who spoke like that, you would
You're like, what is wrong
probably think there was some sort of like android.
Yeah.
And yeah, that it just bothers me. It pulls you out of a film when that,
it really does.
Happens. So yeah, bad writing, I guess,
That's a good one.
Is mine, but bad character choices, more specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, if you watch Yesterday, you'll probably be disappointed, because I had such high hopes.
Yep.
And it just didn't deliver. I mean, especially for you as a massive Beatles fan, like you must have been.
And because I literally, I didn't actually plan on seeing it. I think I was waiting around. I had like 2.5 hours to kill, and I was like, oh, I'll just go and see that film about the Beatles. Why not? So yeah. I was halfway through it, and I was like, oh God, I want this to end so badly. I hated it. And then they had the audacity to go to a little cottage in the countryside.
Oh.
Who should open the door?
Is it?
Oh, is that John Lennon? Oh, it's John Lennon.
Oh, see, I thought it was Richard Carlyle.
To be fair, actually, the one thing I liked about that was him playing Lennon. That was quite good.
Yeah, it was good, but yeah, it was a little bit on the nose. Like that was a bit.
It felt really. It made me feel a little bit weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
That must have been really weird for his family, because even I was like, oh, this feels like not right.
Also, I just want to like point out, like my kind of, so all of my favourite Beatles songs personally were written by Paul McCartney.
Yeah, well,
and I just thought, okay, so you've sort of presented John Lennon as like a mythical figure.
Yeah.
And actually, the one who's alive still, who could have been in your film personally, he also wrote a lot of their most popular music, and you've just like not used him.
I think that
bothered me a little bit.
That's a thing in itself, because I mean, obviously, you got Paul and Ringo still going. I don't know if they.
Ringo Starr is weird though. I would not put him in a film.
He's a creepy boy, but I don't.
Nose.
Oh God, I don't know if they approved of the film. I guess they must have done for, legal reasons like music.
I believe they did, yeah, but like I believe they both watched it and enjoyed it, but I just felt like across the board, like I had such high hopes for it, and
It
it
could have been
just
brilliant.
disappointed me. Yeah. Okay, that actually brings us to the end of this week's podcast.
Already,
we've been recording for quite some time, actually.
Have fun in the edit.
Oh, I will. I quite enjoy it, actually. It makes me feel less alone.
That's quite sweet
to hear you and I talking as if we're together,
and we have these forever to listen back on, so that's nice.
I know, it's like a monument to our friendship.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Do you know what? I just need a minute.
I love you, Niall.
I love you too. Okay, so if you would like to follow us on, actually no, scrap that. Please go and follow us on the social medias. That is at Corner of Film on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can also follow us on Spotify or Podbean, also at Corner of Film. You can also follow me personally at Lord of the Grey on Twitter, where I post stuff about, my other various projects that I do, writing. I do write occasional articles for What Culture still. You can find those on there. They cover not only film, but TV and video games.
Nice.
I recently wrote one about TV shows with great soundtracks that's worth a read. I'll be back next week with another mini episode of the podcast. It'll be about 10 minutes long, and I will be talking about something weird, probably. Okay, this week, it's actually my turn to bring along our final quote, Jack, and
Lovely.
I have found you something. So last week you brought along Ferris Bueller.
I did, yeah.
Well, I may have just one-upped you.
Oh, you definitely have.
Are you ready for this?
Go on.
Okay. A laugh can be a very powerful thing. Why, sometimes in life, it's the only weapon we have.
Oh.
That's from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That is a great film. I've not watched that in forever.
No, neither have I. I did not remember that quote at all. And it's so true. In these trying times we live in.
Yeah.
Our laughs, they're like weapons.
You've got to laugh.
So, turn them onto your enemies.
Yeah. Laugh at your enemies.
Yeah. Arm yourself with laughter. Jack, thank you so much for having joined me again. I really missed you.
Yeah,
over the last couple of weeks.
I too. I missed you too, mate. And it's been a good time.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun talking about the Sandman. I'm going to go and rewatch all of his films now.
Yeah, I think I might do the same.
And I think everyone listening should also go and do that.
Yeah, definitely. Get some more Adam in your life.
Yeah, and then do your own bracket and tell us what you'd put at number one.
That is a very good... I would be interested to see other people's brackets for this.
Yeah, I would too, like rankings.
Yeah.
Every Adam Sandler film ranked. Go away, all of you, go away and do that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, I'll see you again soon, Jack. And thank you for being here.
Thank you once again.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, and goodbye.
Yes, good night.
Goodbye, everyone, and happy trails.